In the whimsical kingdom of Gleaming-spire, life had become unexpectedly sparkly. The beloved King Alistair had a bizarre magical malady, the glitter sneezes. Whenever he sneezed, which was alarmingly often, a volcano of purple and gold glitter erupted, blanketing the throne room. The royal chef slipped on a patch of glitter while carrying a cake, and the Duke of Darrington's moustache was permanently shimmering. Prince Arthur knew he couldn't let his father's reign be remembered as the glittering age. He discovered the only cure was the legendary Sunbeam Herb, hidden deep within the Whispering Woods. With a satchel full of hope and sandwiches, he unfurled his father's magically enchanted but notoriously unhelpful map. Instantly, the map's inky path wiggled and pointed him directly into a giant rose bush. "This way to adventure," it whispered. Just before Arthur was face to face with a choir of singing ladybugs. Struggling out of the thorns covered in petals, Arthur heard a tiny voice. "Bit of a prickly situation, eh?" Perched on a branch was a small, brown squirrel, adjusting a tiny, crooked wizard's hat. This was Squeaky. "You need an expert guide and a detangling spell." Squeaky waved a twig, and instead of clearing the leaves from Arthur's hair, it made his hair float ethereally above his head. Arthur chuckled. "I could use the help even if it's a bit uplifting." Their first real obstacle was a grumpy oak tree. "None shall pass," it grumbled, "unless you solve my riddle. What are cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and water but no fish?" Arthur, remembering his predicament from minutes before, smiled. "A map," he declared. The oak grunted, impressed, and moved its roots. Their journey was soon interrupted by a flash of light and a high-pitched giggle. A swarm of mischievous pixies dive-bombed them, snatching Arthur's entire satchel. "My lunch!" he cried. Squeaky sprang into action. "Freezus Robicus!" he squeaked. But the spell only made the pixies freeze in place for a second before they burst out laughing and zipped away. Arthur, noticing their obsession with all things shiny, had an idea. He took off his silver crown and tossed it in the air. The pixies, unable to resist, dropped the satchel and chased the crown. Arthur and Squeaky retrieved their lunch and ran before the pixies finished their game. Next, they reached the Giggling Gorge, where a massive giant lay sleeping, his body forming a bridge. A sign read, "Wake with a joke to cross my nose." Squeaky, a connoisseur of nutty humor, scampered to the giant's ear. "Why did the squirrel bring a ladder to the party?" he squeaked. The giant snorted. Squeaky continued, "Because he heard the drinks were on the house." A low rumble grew into a thunderous laugh that echoed through the gorge. The giant, wiping a tear from his eye, gave them a thumbs up to cross. Finally, Squeaky remembered an old piece of squirrel lore. The Sunbeam Herb only grows where the first ray of morning sun touches the oldest mushroom. Following the dawn's light, they found a hidden grove. There, on a mossy patch, was the shimmering herb, surrounded by a circle of sleeping, softly glowing moon moths. Tiptoeing with bated breath, Arthur gently plucked the herb. He raced back, and with one taste, the king's sneezes returned to normal. At the celebration, King Alistair named Squeaky the Royal Nutcracker and Chief of Magical Mischief. As the kingdom cheered, a fountain in the courtyard suddenly began spouting sweet lemonade. Squeaky's celebratory spell had worked for once, perfectly.